The council chambers hummed with quiet tension. Vast windows displayed the black void of space, dotted with distant stars and the faint glimmer of human colonies scattered across the galaxy. For centuries, the council had observed Earth from a cautious distance, cataloging its technology, culture, and the unpredictable nature of its people. Every member had expected growth, innovation, even chaos, but the announcement that arrived minutes ago had left the assembly in stunned silence. "They're attacking Earth," a high-ranking member murmured, voice barely audible over the soft hum of the chamber. Another shook his head, disbelief etched across his features. "Are they mad? Do they understand the power we wield across this sector?" At the center of the chamber, the elder leaned forward, long fingers tapping against the transparent surface of the table. "They understand only what they need to. Humanity has always been difficult to predict, but this is unprecedented. No species we have observed has ever initiated an offensive against a full council quadrant without prior negotiation or provocation." A murmur spread. Data streams shimmered across the chamber walls, showing Earth's defenses: orbital satellites, missile grids, drone fleets, and military installations. To the council, the planet seemed primitive, a fledgling power compared to the sprawling systems they governed. Yet the reports showed humans mobilizing forces in patterns that no one could fully comprehend. One member, young by council standards, broke the silence. "They cannot match our fleets, our weapon arrays, our strategic coordination. If they attack, they will be annihilated within cycles." The elder shook her head slowly. "You underestimate them. Observations suggest that humans have a resilience that defies our expectations. Their decision-making is erratic, unpredictable, and that is precisely why we must not assume weakness." In orbit above Earth, massive human ships maneuvered with precision, engines glowing faint blue against the black of space. Fleet commanders gave orders with clipped efficiency, their voices calm despite the enormity of their mission. "Prepare for engagement. Keep formation Delta," a commander said. "Our objective is clear." The council has ignored warnings. We will remind them that humanity does not wait for approval to defend itself. Below, the planet bristled with defensive energy. Anti-orbital cannons tracked every council scout ship, drones patrolled the stratosphere, and satellite networks monitored every signal. Yet the humans did not hesitate. They were not attacking recklessly, they were calculating, measuring every variable with the precision of a species who had survived against impossible odds. Council monitors flickered as the first human ships reached the outermost perimeter. Sensors indicated that the humans were using tactics unseen in prior encounters. Ships split and regrouped unpredictably. Electronic countermeasures jammed conventional scans, and cloaked units appeared where no council sensors had detected them. A council general's voice cut through the chamber. "Their formations are illogical. There is no standard military pattern. How do we respond?" The elder's gaze was steady. "Do not respond as you would to any other species. Humans do not play by our rules. If we underestimate them, we will find ourselves surprised." Back on Earth, humans prepared for the first wave of contact. Ground commanders coordinated with orbital fleets using a combination of AI calculations and human intuition. Theirs was a strategy not just of force but of adaptation. Every move was designed to test the council's assumptions, to exploit gaps that conventional wisdom said could not exist. In the council chamber, debate raged. "They cannot survive a direct engagement," one member insisted. "Their weapons are inferior, their fleet smaller. Any assault will end in disaster." "And yet," the elder replied, "the human fleet is advancing. They do not hesitate. They have chosen to strike first. That choice alone demonstrates a mindset alien to our experience. They fight not just with technology but with willpower." The first encounter came swiftly. A council scout approached Earth, expecting an unchallenged passage. The human ship met it with a maneuver that seemed reckless, closing the distance faster than sensors predicted. Within moments, the scout systems were overwhelmed by electronic interference, engines failing, weapons disabled, leaving it drifting toward the atmosphere like a fallen star. Council members gasped. "Impossible," one whispered. "They should not be able to disable a scout of this caliber." "They operate differently," the elder said calmly. "Their strength is not in conformity but in creativity. Each human is capable of improvisation beyond the training of most species. That is what terrifies the council. They cannot be measured in the same way we measure others. Across the council chambers, alarms rang. Earth had not sent a single ship beyond the initial scouts, but the humans' tactics were already rewriting the rules of engagement. Within hours, several more council vessels experienced crippling malfunctions. The patterns were deliberate, targeted, and impossibly precise. The Elder raised a hand. Prepare the council fleet for a response, but do not assume victory. This is a species that turns weakness into strength, chaos into strategy. They have survived millennia on a planet far smaller than ours with resources far fewer, against predators far deadlier than any we have faced. Do not underestimate them. Above the planet, human ships adjusted their positions. A group of smaller vessels raced ahead, drawing council ships into areas where human orbital defenses could trap them. Explosions lit the darkness of space, but no human ship fell. Commanders on the ground cheered quietly, understanding that every loss was accounted for in the broader strategy. Council analysts struggled to comprehend what they saw. Their movements are chaotic, one reported, but each maneuver is calculated. It is as if they anticipate every response we could make even before we make it. The Elder nodded. Precisely. Their thought process is not linear, and that is their advantage. They are capable of rapid adaptation, learning from every engagement. That is why attacking Earth is not madness. It is a calculated risk on their part. They know what they are doing. Council generals called for a counteroffensive. Massive fleets assembled, weapons primed, energy fields glowing with lethal intensity. They assumed that size and firepower alone would decide the outcome. Humans watched the council fleet approach. On the bridge of a command vessel, a young officer glanced at the display. They're coming in predictable patterns. We can use that. The fleet moved with sudden coordination, smaller ships weaving through the larger council vessels, forcing them to react continuously. Missiles fired, energy fields clashed, and yet human ships avoided critical damage through constant adaptation. Back in the council chamber, debate turned frantic. They cannot continue this, one member shouted. Our fleet should be overwhelming them by now. They are overwhelming us in a way we cannot measure, the Elder corrected. Their numbers are smaller, but their effectiveness is unmatched. They do not rely on quantity alone. Each human is a multiplier of their fleet's potential. On Earth, civilians watched the sky with a mixture of awe and fear. Humans had always known the Council existed, had known the stories of their power, but now the threat was tangible. Yet the people did not panic. Engineers, soldiers, scientists, and volunteers worked together seamlessly, reinforcing defensive grids, maintaining supply lines, and ensuring communication networks stayed intact. The Council launched a concentrated strike, hoping to break the human lines. A massive weapon, capable of obliterating entire fleets, was aimed directly at Earth. The chamber fell silent, expecting the final move in a swift victory, but the humans anticipated it. Using rapid redeployment and a combination of electronic deception, they redirected the Council strike into empty space. The weapon discharged with full power only to hit nothing. Human ships, seemingly scattered and vulnerable, were already in new positions, ready for the next phase of engagement. Council members stared at the screens. How? One whispered. They are not following patterns, the Elder said quietly. They are setting patterns that we perceive, then breaking them. They are not attacking blindly. They are teaching us that assumptions are dangerous. The battle continued for cycles. Council ships fell into traps. Miscommunications arose from their reliance on rigid protocols, and the humans adapted constantly. Each loss they suffered was calculated, each victory a message. Earth does not bow, does not yield, and will not wait for permission to defend itself. By the time the Council fleet regrouped, human forces had drawn them deep into a series of orbital and atmospheric zones that maximized their tactical advantage. Large ships that once seemed unstoppable now moved cautiously, unsure of every engagement. A younger council member spoke, voice trembling. This cannot be happening. They should be annihilated. They are humans, the Elder replied. This is what makes them dangerous. They refuse to yield, refuse to surrender, and they turn every limitation into a weapon. They are not predictable. They are not logical, and that is why they survive. On the planet below, humans continued to fight with ingenuity. Energy shields flickered under concentrated attacks, but humans found ways to reinforce them. Drones were deployed in unexpected patterns. Artillery fire was coordinated with orbital maneuvers, and command decisions were made with a blend of instinct and calculated risk. The Council, for all its experience and power, could not fully